So much pain, I'm like, when's it gonna stop? So much pain, cause my life's been a lot. So much pain, I'm getting tired of these blocks. I'm in last place right now, but I soon reach the top. So much pain, I'm like, when's it gonna stop? So much pain, cause my life's been...
Yo. Back again, episode 5 of the Last Place podcast. Yes. We're here, we've done it, we did it. We're here. I know the scenery is looking a bit different as to usual. We ain't in our usual skyscraper setting that you're all used to. But, you know, sometimes change is good. You know, comfort zones and that, get out of them. But yeah, episode 5, man, we've come a long way. We're here.
Yeah, bro, we're here, man.
And as you can see, we've got somebody beside us, which is not usual. It's just a dynamic duo usually. So let's get into the introductions. I am Big Dubs, Young Dubhul, the sexiest, big sexo, young sex, all of the above, and then some. To my right, I got
your boy Big Tyco, aka Tycoon Hunter. Yeah, bro, man's here again, innit? And we got a special guest in the building. Introduce yourself, bro.
Leon Xtra. Wow, Leon for short. They call me Leon Xtra. So, yeah.
I need more from you.
You know what it is? This first time I'm doing it. It's all right, yeah. A bit nervous. I've never really done like an interview or something like that.
Don't see it as an interview, bro.
Okay.
That's what we need to get out of the way. This isn't an interview.
Leon Xtra. They call me an entrepreneur. That's what I do.
Which entrepreneur are you?
True. TRU entrepreneur. You get me?
Facts.
But yeah, man, I think at the time I ease into this.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you definitely will, bro.
We're going to get into it, innit? And obviously, this is the purpose of this episode. We're going to get to know you and hear your story, innit? So, introduction, just introduce yourself and say your name. Where can they follow you on social media?
At Leon Xtra on Instagram. That's all I use, really, to be honest.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it. Really.
Yeah, what follow you for some inspiration, motivation, all that?
Yeah. I do that when it comes naturally. I post some motivational stories or talk stories or something like that.
Okay.
And mainly I promote my businesses.
Okay. Like we'll get into it. So how man's like obviously we do this every week. First things first, we shout out everyone that's been supporting us. You know, all the comments, all the likes, all the engagement with the social media. Yeah, man, just keep liking the posts, keep sharing videos, keep posting it. You know what? If you're watching this right now and you're like halfway through the video, you see something that you like and you're like, yo, that's some interesting conversation or interesting topic. Just take out your phone, record it, tag man on your Snapchat, tag man on your Instagram, or whatever you're using it, and just tag man, and we can see the love. We're gonna share it. We're gonna say, thanks or blah blah blah. You get me? But yeah, man, just like, subscribe, do all that, comment. If you hear something that you don't agree with, or if you hear something that you agree with, comment and say, yeah, we agree or we disagree or whatever, bro. You get me? This or bro or gal or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, man. How's the man's week been?
You go first.
My week's been good, I ain't gonna lie. It's been challenging time, but this week's been an up week. Because as an entrepreneur, you have up and down weeks. So this week's been an up week. So that's a quick and short way to put it.
Talking to the mic. Oh, always into the mic.
Okay, cool.
How's yours been?
Mine. Yeah, my week's been interesting. Like, I think it's probably a repetitive thing that man's saying now. But yeah, bro, it's just one of them ones where man's doing bare shit and just don't feel like man's got enough time in it. But I guess that's kind of like a good thing in a sense, because as long as you're moving in the right direction, it's good, innit?
Yeah, it's what you do with your time, innit?
Yeah, facts.
If you're doing constructive stuff, then you're not gonna really see a problem.
Yeah, no,
but
facts.
Then time is time, and if you feel like you're losing it, then you know what I mean.
Yeah, facts. It's true.
It's always gonna be a problem because that's the only thing. What is it like? The only thing that's like guaranteed, like time or something like that.
Something like that.
One of the few things that are guaranteed. Like time is like time, and then death is guaranteed, but a lot of death is because of time. Obviously, your age and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not to get so deep and all that kind of stuff.
But yeah, bro, it's just that man. That's what man's been kind of dealing with right now, where it's like days are just going by like that, bro.
Yep.
And as you said, in it's what you do with your time. What kind of it can make you be at peace with time going fast, innit? Because if you're doing constructive stuff and you're going in the right direction, like if time just feels like it's going that quick and you're just doing something that's productive and that, you don't really have no issues.
Facts. Big facts.
It's just that finding that balance. But yeah, bro, not to go on too much of a tangent, but yeah, how's your week been?
My week. You know what? I've been looking forward to this episode though. I've been looking forward to this episode. Obviously, we tried to not prep Leon pretty much at all. We just kind of told him a time was coming. That's basically it. We didn't really talk too much on anything. But yeah, I know, me knowing Leon as long as I have, I knew that was going to be like kind of fun and exciting to just kind of like just put him there instead of doing the whole prepping thing, so it wouldn't feel as natural. So it would feel as organic and natural to us and the viewers as well. So yeah, I've been looking forward to this episode, man. But other than that, just work and trying to chase dreams and
100, bro. Not trying to chasing.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, chasing dreams, and yeah, just trying to do right.
Yeah, bro. And obviously, this is our first guest, so it's not gonna be proper.
Perfecto.
Yeah, flush.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you watching us grow and develop and learn in it. So, and this is Leon's first sit down as well. So, as long as you can get the gems are gonna flow organically in it, but it's not gonna be like a proper. You know what I'm trying to say? We're gonna make it work in it. We're gonna make it work. So don't be too critical on man. Don't be too critical on man. But yeah, man. What we want to ask him? We was gonna ask him what does last place mean to man, innit?
Oh yeah, so. You've been following the show.
Yeah.
You've been following us as people. More so, obviously, me. And then Tyco is, my friend, your friend now. But like you've kind of understood what we've been doing and what we've trying to help me.
What we're trying to do.
What we've been trying to do. Yeah. So what does last place mean to you, bro?
From what my translation of what your movement is,
yeah, and just the last place thing, and like how would you use it or describe your life?
So I feel like I've been in last place before, so I feel like, to me, last place just means you start this game of life in last place. You know what I mean? Like, you might have a few handicaps. You know what I mean? You're probably not as privileged of others. So that's what it means to me. It's not privileged, like starting in last place. But what I like about it is what you like represent it is like you can be in last place, but as long as you keep going, you will finish the race and you will finish your goal. So that's what it means to me, and what the translation I get from you guys' movement.
That's interesting still, because what was your first impressions when you heard
Shaq,
it?
what you on about? I was like, I didn't get it, and then I was like,
just like the rest of them.
Last place, man. Started in last place, but like repping, I don't get that. And then when he broke it down, I got it straight away, and I got my interpretation. I kind of translate in my own way, like what I just expressed.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. And yeah, if whoever's watching what last place means to you, if you want to leave a comment or I don't know.
And if you don't kind of understand what last place is, we advise you watch like the first episode of the podcast. We kind of really break it down and give people a better understanding. Like, we even figured out new meanings and stuff for it from that episode, because it's such a wide thought process, and it gets developed every single day that we're doing things and stuff. So we're still finding out what last place means as well. But it's just such a cool play on words, and yeah. But episode 1 of the Last Place podcast, you'll find the true meaning to how it kind of came about, the origin, the genesis.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, obviously you speak about last place and starting in last place. I think what a lot of people might not know, because when entrepreneurs, and obviously to us it seems like you're at the top of the mountain, you got your businesses and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, no one really looks behind that. Everyone looks at the finished product. So we just want to know more about you come up in it and like your previous jobs, your previous life before you got to where where a lot of people would class as the top of the mountain, innit?
Yeah, thanks. Where do you want to start it?
Start from the beginning, bro.
Okay. The beginning is, when you say that, there's loads of beginning points.
Okay. What's pulling you? Whatever's pulling you to speak on it.
Go on. Try get what do you reckon, Shaq? Like, try get like a.
Let's go from
a time, like, okay, what got me motivated to start my journey, should say something like that, or
Okay. You know, we should probably start. Okay, we can go back to like your where you used to live or you live in situation. But let's talk about like work, so to say, from now. Like, so first jobs, and then what motivated you to get out your first job to then become to where you are right now?
Okay, so that's after, because my journey started when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to talk about jobs? Oh, when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, talk about how you was living as a kid, like things that probably you felt like inspired you to want more and stuff like that.
All right then, I think it's better we start there then.
Okay, cool.
So like, obviously as a kid, man, were obviously Jamaican family, no pops, broke. You know, is mama trying her best, 2 jobs, and just normal, go to school. You know, no good crepes. You know, man had the worst. On uniform day was my worst day. Do you know what I mean? And that always, you know, as a younger, you look up to rappers and that. American rappers, that always give me that I want more, if you know what I mean. That's where that came from. And then grew up, and then when I was about 15, 14, 15, got kicked out of school, and I went to like a college where it was like a bridge center thing.
What did you get kicked out of school for?
I feel like it was just like, it was one situation, but I feel like it was a cumulative situation of losing my temper. And it
was more than one thing.
Yeah, I think it was just I had a temper.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, they kicked me out in the end. So, but it worked out a positive. This everything kind of, every time I have like a dip, I kind of try to take the positive out of it and what have you when I look back. So, and then I went to a bridge center, and then but I still connected with my friends from school. I mean, they used to go to the park. So, and then I used to take people who was from like my bridge, like who I met, who are other kids who got kicked out. I used to take them to the park where my friends used to go from school, and the kids used to get drunk and all that, and it was just a mess, you know what I mean? And we used to MC back then. Garage was big, and we used to MC. I just remember I had an idea about if we had somewhere controlled to go, it wouldn't be as messy.
Yeah.
So there was from my house, there was a church, and they had a little hall next to it. So I approached to hire the hall off the priest, hired the hall. Then I said to like my friends, Dad had some speakers.
So sorry to cut you. This was in a church?
Yeah, it was in a church.
Okay.
So like I asked my friend's dad to hire some speakers, asked my older brother and his friend to do security, got my MCs who used to MC in the park, got some flyers and just dished them out. And I was expecting about 30, 40 people who go to the park. But bro, like everyone come from every end. I'm talking like 200-300 people came, and I was charging £2, and then I was doing it every 2 weeks. And I upped the price to £3. I was fitting, and then I started getting money for the first time. It was mad.
So I want to ask you a question then, because a lot of kids might be watching this, and they might be 15, and they might think, where do I get that money from? So where did you get your initial capital from to start that?
I lent it off a Gary. It was a
shout out Gary.
Yeah, Gary. We called him poet. He became like a graffiti artist, to be honest. And he was cool, and it was £25 I needed.
Fucking
wow.
£25.
Cost of living, boy.
Yeah, £25. I was fitting, and I asked him for £25, big money.
So sorry, how much you reckon if you was to do that at the same event today, how much you reckon you would have needed?
I've done events later on, like I've done big events.
No, to do that exact event in this day and age.
I thought that it was under 18s, innit? You mean equivalent, as in if I'd done the exact same event?
Yeah, like, you know, because everything's gone up.
Everything's changed.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably the venue was cheap. You probably could pull it off just for a bit more, because, you know, it was all favours I pulled.
Okay.
Speakers were our friends, dad.
Yeah.
Security was my brother and his pal. Okay. MC, every MC wanted to MC for free back then.
Okay.
DJs wanted to DJ for free.
Things just aligned for you, innit?
And that's why it's like powerful, because you had the network back then without even kind of like probably even realizing it. You were just calling favors, but really you like kind of tapped in.
I feel like everyone could have called them initial favors. I think my network starting to build from back then.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like after that. So it's when I did it, I started to get known beyond my ends, and people started to know me in different ends for being the boy who ran Holy Bash, basically.
So okay,
Holy Bash was the name of the event because it was in a church.
Go back to Gary then. So you approached Gary for the £25.
Yeah.
So what was his reaction to that then?
He would love the idea, and he just said, you know, he loved it. He just said, yeah, that's not a problem. I had to give the priest £15 deposit, and I can't remember what I used £10 for, but it was £25. I needed initial investment.
You know what it is? So any young kids watching this, I believe, you'll find that at that age, if you've got like ambition and you want to do something positive, there will be people there to support you in it. Would you agree? Would you agree?
You just have to find the right
100%.
person, innit?
And you just got to give him a deal. Like at that time, I gave him back 50, so he was double bubble. He was loving that. And we're kids. Do you know what I mean? That's big money, then. Innit?
So how? This is probably another question, but how important do you see? You might not have looked at it at that time, but how important do you think community is then?
Important because that was based. I done that event within my small community, my small network at the time, and I tried to add value to that network as a kid because we was going to a park that was uncontrolled. So I created an environment what was controlled. You couldn't bring alcohol, like that. And if you popped off, I had security. Do you know what I mean? So it was the music was what it was, and I learned to give my network value, and they just give me a lot back. So they started supporting me. So the ones got bigger and bigger. A person told a friend. People coming from different ends, and it just got bigger and bigger because of that small community I tried adding value for.
Okay. So yeah, what was after that then?
So like after that, I just done bare of those, and then because it was the first time I was getting money as a kid, like, I remember eating McDonald's every day. I remember like buying like crepes because I could never get good trainers prior to that. I got gums, and I kind of started, I could say like I started smoking weed and started being a bit bad, getting bad influences. And so I was doing that for a while, and then ended up, because I was smoking weed, getting a bit of money, ended up getting kicked out of my house now. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Yeah, so I got kicked out of my house.
At what age?
I was kicked out I was late 16, but 17, you could say, because after I turned 17 like a week after.
So all of this happened like in quite quick succession.
Like space of what, 2 years? You said you started this at 15, innit?
Yeah. So a man got kicked out about 17. Okay. And then after that, because it was like, I'm smoking weed, I didn't really do events when I got kicked out. I was in like survival mode. I was living in hostels and all that. And I was just like linking up with Mandan really, and just doing the whole chilling, smoking weed vibe. And it became, but then I was at the time on radio with my crew. That was the thing to do then. Like man at MCs, man was going on private radio station every Saturday. So man was focused on that. You get me? Okay.
So yeah, I mean, you mentioned before you worked in Tesco.
That came later. So after that phase, I got to a point where I knew I had to start smoking weed. And I told it like, because, I weren't doing events like I used to. I'd done a couple student events.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? But I didn't, there was no pattern in my life, no structure.
Okay.
And I knew the weed thing. And I seen olders who smoke weed. No offense to anybody smoke weed, but for me, I was thinking, okay, I don't want to smoke weed for that long. So when I come out of that pattern, I knew I needed structure. So I went to the job center.
But wait, before you carry on, sorry, what made you come to that realization? Because people don't just wake up and be like...
It was just like analyzing, man, to be honest. I ain't going to lie. Certain man, I just analyze, you know what I mean, like orders.
So what would you say? Because you would have to know that there's a difference, or you want some more. Was it because you had the experience of running events, so like you kind of knew there was more to life?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I knew something was holding me back, and I knew something was holding me back, and when I realized and I looked back, it was a bad habit, bro. Okay. And it was like, because you don't just smoke weed. I wasn't just smoking weed. I was around certain man. You know how the thing goes, and you're wasting time away, and I felt like I started living a life what was in a small bubble.
Okay.
Yeah. And I felt like I had, because of prior, I had a lot more to give.
So you basically, like, smoking weed kind of gave you like a small-minded outlook.
Yeah, just chilling.
Yeah.
Chilling, get a bit of money. You get me? Just chilling. One of them.
It's like the block is just where you want to be, isn't it?
Just chilling, yeah. It's not the one.
Okay, cool.
For me, it weren't the one.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. To anybody else that's doing whatever, then you know what I'm trying to say? It's just that Leon just figured out it wasn't for him eventually, innit? Or at the end of the day. So I was going to ask you...
no, Chris, go on.
What are you going to say?
No, just do the Tesco thing, innit?
Yeah, so after that, so when I kind of I had that realization, I went to the job center and I pulled out a ticket. I applied for this job, and when I went there, I applied, and they said to me, you're going to be pushing trolleys part-time. I was down.
So actually, sorry to cut you, a quick one. Just a few seconds. How does the job center work? I've never been to the job center.
So well, back then, you used to go on, they used to have the touch screen thing.
Okay, yeah.
And then you go there, you look, and you just see what's available, what you feel you could do. There was loads of jobs I just knew I wasn't qualified for because I didn't have no qualifications. But what you think you can do, you apply for that. So you get this little ticket and you can ring them or what have you. So I remember just using the job centre phone. They said the date, went there, had the interview, and they said, "Oh, you're gonna be pushing trolleys." I was like down for whatever. And when I walked out, I goes, I didn't know what I applied for. And then it goes, I goes, "What job is it?" Because they said they got it. And I goes, your opening day is this. No, training day, induction, sorry, is this day. I goes, "What is it for?" They goes, "Tesco." I was like, "Raw, I swear, Tesco." And it was the one in Aston, the Wheaton Island.
Yeah.
I was before it was built. So, yeah. And I tell you now, I worked there. The first year, it was one of the best. Even though I was pushing trolleys, bro, I was in the cold. You get me 3 days a week. I was begging for hours. I was trying to get extra hours on the tills. I was trying to do anything to get the money the right way.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, I really enjoyed it. I ain't gonna lie. It's just there was certain man from certain ends, you know, the younger lot you get along with, and you know, and we had a little crewing work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we ended up going out together in town. And I enjoyed the journey for the first year and a half. I think like it was one of the best things. What happened to me, I ain't even gonna cap, because I learned more how to structure my life, and I got a pattern into my life.
And it gave you structure as well. Obviously, having set hours, having a rota, so you knew what to like work around and how you could do whatever.
And I didn't have time for foolishness.
Yeah.
So it's like I rated that.
There's no more smoking because you had to be at work and you had to pattern up, innit?
Basically, and then while I was doing that, I got my driving license, got my first car. They only had my contracted hours were low, but I always had to put in extra hours. So and then what happened then was I kind of started getting back into the events because the spare time I had after work, I started working on big events. You know what I mean? Like, because garage was getting bigger, artists like gigs and that were getting bigger. Skepta, I'd done like Skepta in Worcester, and I got like about 900 people came. So I went back into my bag. You get me?
Yeah.
And then I done like an event called Grime Nation. When I was at Tesco, 2,000 people in Dickbuff. I had everybody on that. When they're all like coming up, like Gigs, Gets, Criminal, P1, I had like Heartless. I had like the lineup was mad. I can't even remember, but JME.
We're gonna have to try to find a flyer so we can like put it on the video.
It's on YouTube.
If you got a flyer or something, I'll put it on the video edit version.
But that was getting me back into my swing. You get me, while I was at Tesco, so that's what I liked about having this pattern. And when I had spare time, man, investing my spare time in practicing my craft.
You know what? I want to ask this question because a lot of people feel like if they got a job, they can't really start a business or do a side
extras
hustle.
and all of that, yeah.
So Tesco, man, no, Tesco don't pay the best. So how did you manage to do all of that? Sorry. How did you manage to do all of that while still...
Just like when you finish work. So when I finish work, I'll just go do what I got to do. So I had to go meetings at Dickbuff, meet them, do a deal, make the phone calls before, like sometimes on break, when I had to book the artist, speak to the agents. Just use that little bit of time in it to make
it's motivation and mindset, innit?
Just one step.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, some people will feel like, okay, my day's off, I'm just going to go. Obviously, chilling, that's good, but like, you have to like, you kind of like said, you know what, these days off, I'm going to use it to focus on a dream.
But sorry, do you reckon it's like the universe, so to say, because obviously you was asking for extra hours and stuff like that. Let's say you was given like a full-time contract.
That's a good question.
Do you reckon you would have had the time and the mental capacity to go as hard as you did?
100,000%, because after a certain time at Tesco, I knew that, you know, now it's my time.
It's to like transition.
It's getting frustrated. My wings needed. I felt like I was my wings needed to spread, you know, like that. So I didn't have a choice but to find a time. Like I was never going to not do that.
So you know, during them times there, obviously, was your only income Tesco?
Yeah. And then go on.
So how did you kind of manage your money to be like, okay, this is my money to kind of enjoy it, this is my money to go towards my business? How did you find that balance, like management? Yeah,
just like I tried to do as much hours as possible. So that was the best way to do as much hours as possible. And I lived like I had my car, and I had I rented a room, so man didn't go get a flat in it. So I just rented a room. You know, I remember it's like Hitman, like off Hitman Road, Sparkbrook Ends, and I rented a room. Somebody I met there at Tesco, and that was keeping my my shit down, innit? I used to go out as well, but no, back then, no champagne, bro. Straight brandy and coke.
We know you love. We know you love champagne.
I've
been drinking brandy and coke right now.
I used to go like these clubs called Mono Bar. I got banned from all of them. No, don't ask. Review, Sugar Sweet.
Oh my God!
I used to like. I remember back then I used to brandy and coke, and I used to see people popping champagne. I'd be like, one day I'm coming for that. You get me?
Mad. So yeah, what happened after that then? After you started to go back into the events and things started to pick up again, and you was like, you know what? I'm getting frustrated working at Tesco. Like, what happened after that?
I started picking up the events, got into my bag, and then because I weren't contracted hours at Tesco, they chopped my hours. I don't know what happened with Tesco after a couple of years, but it was just chopping bare people's hours, and I chopped my hours back to like super basic hours, like
16 or something.
Back to my contracted hours, and that was harsh because like I was so used. It felt like I was full time because I was doing so much.
So basically, like you set your way of living based off of your overtime hours.
But that's mad though, because a lot of people feel like there's a lot of security in jobs, and for you to experience that,
yeah, it was mad because it was Tesco as well.
Nah, but you know what it is with the whole contracted hours thing. Really, only getting what you're guaranteed. So like, if you're on 16 hours. You're on a 16-hour contract, but if you do overtime, then that's blessed. But if there's no overtime, you're back on 16, innit? So you still kind of have to play it smart.
Okay, yeah.
So you still have to live by your means in a sense.
Okay, I get you.
Because at any time there could be no hours, or the extra hours could be given to somebody else.
Yeah,
I get you.
But I thought because I was getting so long for so long period of time, I was just adjusting my life to them hours. But they cut the hours, and that's where I don't even know if we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where life turned into a direction.
For the better or the worse?
I see everything for the better, innit? Okay. Every negative thing in life ended up for the better. So,
because at the end of the day, here now, innit?
Yeah, perception is, Even now, I'm going through challenges now. Probably my biggest challenging year I've ever been in. Okay. But deep down, subconsciously, I know it's going to work out and make me more wise, stronger, and better as an entrepreneur. So, it doesn't matter what challenges go through. So, that's how my perception, I look at it. But then life went a bit, because I didn't, because they cut my hours, I could say I got lucky or unlucky, but I don't know how far I can get into this.
So as far as you'd like.
We can edit in it, if anything, can it?
Yeah.
So it's cool. So then my friend, because obviously I had friends who still smoke weed or whatever. Yeah?
So how old was you at this time, sorry?
I'm in my 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and then because I was low on hours, I needed to make up the money what now is lost. You feeling me? So then a coincidence happened. Someone done their thing, will give me a little something. And I just thought, let me just do a little hustle to make up the loss. And, that's all it was meant to be. Yeah. And then it got carried away. And then it just got carried away because what happened was I realized my work rate, because I got structure in my life and I didn't really have bad habits. Not that, I was really controlled, disciplined. That kind of, them fundamentals, them ethics there helped me get money then. And I started getting money. You get it? And then that developed from just, like I said, you can edit, right? So that developed from the thing, and it developed. And then it got to a point, like, I remember I tried to hold down Tesco's part-time hours. I tried, but it got to a point where it's just like, when I remember when I got there, it was late, my fault, idiot. But I feel like the person was just, when you get told off, and now you just like, I don't even need this. Yeah,
I'm making more money than you.
So you got that
stupid, ignorant attitude just like that I had.
But that's what I mean. That's that boss attitude, because people have said, I've seen people say that like they can't have a PT because they don't like to be screamed at and told what to do.
Yeah.
So like that switch clicked in your head where it's like, I'm self-made, like I'm a boss.
Yeah. I'm just like, I was like, just like that. Like I don't need to be here.
Yeah.
So boom.
Wait. How did that feel though?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like I don't want to. At the time, I was what's the word? I was foolish enough to think, you get me, that that I was I was independent in an independent, better position to take this off this manager. So, you know what I mean? So I felt, at the time, I felt good. You get me? But we don't want to be like promoting that. That's what I'm saying. That's how I'm just going to keep it.
At that time, innit?
Yeah, at that time.
I'm
younger than, innit?
Yeah, it's true. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth.
And then, yeah, so that became my life. And, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, that became my life, really. Like I said, the new pattern came, and that became my life. And I got kind of content at one point. I got content, I ain't gonna lie. But I still had the dreams.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So
that's what's important.
Yeah, I still had the dreams, and then and I was always, everything was temporary. So I never thought, man can't stay getting money. You get me? Man's gotta add value.
Okay.
Get money, because right now man are adding not value. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And so yeah, then the next stage happened.
Okay, so boom, next stage. Obviously, I know a bit more about this. Obviously, I know you I've known you for quite a while. So obviously, you run events. Yeah. You've had your dreams then and all this stuff. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit. So people may know you as Leon Xtra, the owner of 101 Nightclub. Yeah.
And
202 restaurant. We'll talk more about 101 right now.
Okay.
So actually, now we could talk about 101 the nightclub, and we got 202 restaurant as well, 202 kitchen. Yeah, man. Before these things, what were your other ventures?
So yeah, the first venture I had, where, because I'd done events, I was comfortable in that sector. Okay. And the natural progress I always wanted to be was a club owner. That was a dream. But when I was 15 and I done Holy Bash in it, I was like, one day I want to own a club. So my first venture was I got a place called TE Bar. It was literally across the road from 101. It's a Greek restaurant now. And it's just, if you come out of 101, it's further up. So it's in Birmingham City Centre if you're not from Birmingham. And I got that. I was in my 20s. This was, after them times there.
20 what, sorry?
I was about 20. Jay was what? I was young, actually. Well, probably. Well, I was about 26, I think.
Who's Jay?
Jay Soul's my business partner. It's not now, but that's my guy.
Shout out Jay Soul, my guy.
Yeah. Shout out Jay Soul, yeah.
But he was about 21, 20 years old. He was really young, and he was one of the partners. So we was like the youngest club owners ever, babyface. And like, we got that club, and because I knew how to run events.
Oh, wait, black as well?
Yeah, pure melanin. And like,
pure melanin.
And that was even that there, being that young and black it was just different.
Like, who are these man? Like, what?
Yeah, and like, we got a whole club. Like, we was gassed, I ain't gonna lie. And then we set it up, and what I knew, I was great at doing events, but in that process, I realized I didn't know how to operate a business. I knew how to operate certain businesses, but I didn't know how to operate a business, a building. I didn't know about so much stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like the business mechanics, what's on the back end. So
you knew basically just how to get people in there?
Basically.
But just not everything around it.
Cash flow, all these things I had to learn the hard way. So what I mean by the hard way is man lost it. Man lost money. Man lost reputation. Man was embarrassed. So we ran for like 8 months. The first 6 months banging, but things started to catch up on us, what we just didn't know about. So we were just a youth who knew how to get people in, but we didn't know the business mechanics. But losing that club, you know what I mean? We took off that hour. We learned bare.
You know, one thing I've heard though, like entrepreneurship, you can't be taught in it. It's like real life experience in it, and sometimes the cost of that experience is money. It can be mental health,
basically.
It can be loads of things. You get me? So anyone that wants to be an entrepreneur has aspirations of being an entrepreneur. Like, I'm not saying you have to expect mental health problems or mental health things,
but there's definitely gonna be some losses.
There's gonna be losses in it,
bro. And there's gonna be mental challenges. Just like, it don't even have to be entrepreneurship. If you're like in sports or anything with that, if you got a goal and it's like, and you're working towards that, just be prepared for the dips and the mental challenges, and the doubt in yourself is gonna come in, and you have to fight all that. And it's just like, yeah, man went through that with that loss. Do you know what I'm saying?
So that's interesting then, because you've kind of taken the L and that club out as a lesson, if you want to say it like that, not a loss. And you wanted to go again. What made you want to go again? Because some people take the L and it's like, fuck that, like I'm out of it, I'm done.
Yeah, 2 reasons. The first reason, me and Jay knew what we did wrong. So that's like, you can't not go again after you know what you did wrong. It's like you fall off a bike, you're going to get back on and you feel like you got better balance now. So it's more like, that was the first reason. The second reason is just, like I said, when I'm 15, I done Holy Bash. My end goal was always wanted to own a club, a sick club. And I feel like once you've got that goal, you know, and it's one of your main goals. Like, as an adult, I want this. I don't think anything's don't matter what happens, anything is gonna completely throw you off.
So you know, for people out there that are watching that want to be entrepreneurs, what would you say to them if they've kind of gone through some sort of similar experience as the one that you went to right now? What advice would you have for them?
When I went through T-Bar, when I lost the club.
Yeah. And let's say they've lost their business or they're going through some rough patch or whatever, like, and want to give up.
You know what I mean? I'll just tap him on the back and say, now you're a step closer. Because all you do is fall forward. I'll just be like, yo, welcome to the gang. Like, literally, this is, you're a step closer. This is part of the journey. Every entrepreneur I see, every big business tycoon, most of their stories have got some sort of like trials and tribulations. Most of them have got this big dip. And so it's just normal. So I'll just tap on them back and say, but I'll say you're a step closer. Congratulations. You know what I mean? Because I congratulate them that if they're going to carry on, because now you're close to your dream. And then I'll say, long as you learn from it, you know what I mean? Long as you learn from what happened and you're carrying on, boy, you're on your way.
How do you learn though? Sorry, how do you learn?
You learn by being traumatized. Now you learn because you literally, stuff what happened when I lost the club, the first one, T-Bar. I remember just being like embarrassed and all these things. It was horrible and I was depressed. And then you just literally going back in your head like, what I should have done. If I knew this, if I knew that, I wouldn't have done this. So you just learn through the process you get.
And is that whole, this is what I should have done, this is what I've learned, all of them thoughts kind of created the 101 right now?
More than that, created 101. But I was always coming back. Like I said, me and Jay were always coming back.
Okay.
Because after that, it was just like, okay, we'll come back round 2 because it was always going to happen. But then 101 it was other circumstances where I pushed that across the line as well.
Okay, so another question that kind of relates to the previous one. So same for how you had T-Bar and that kind of became your dream of 101 and that kind of got executed. We spoke briefly about you owning 202 Kitchen as well. Mm-hmm. I know that you had a restaurant. That was after
T-Bar.
Previously as well.
So you can say like after the T-Bar flopped, I had 2 restaurants in Worcester. I had a grill house and I had a
dessert shop, wasn't it? Yeah.
Dessert shop. This is when dessert shops were blowing in it. And then they didn't have one in Worcester. So I went there, we opened one, small. I remember, rest in peace, Danny Fisher, my mentor who I met at them times at T-Bar. And I remember he helped me at the time put together these 2 businesses. And it was like, for me, it was good because for the like one flop and one done well. The grill house done well, I sold it. And the dessert flopped, but it's cool, you know what I mean? But what I learned was business mechanics, bro. I learned, before I went into 101, I learned about how business really operates on a small, steady scale. And I was happy about that because, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, because it's mad, because look, you had a club and you had a restaurant back then. Obviously, whatever happened, but now you've got a club and a restaurant again.
Yeah.
But they're fine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Well, yeah, doing well. They're fine enough. Yeah, definitely. We survived the pandemic, so we can't complain.
But you get what I'm trying to say? Like that, those thoughts never left your mind.
Yeah.
And you carried them over and implemented, obviously, the things that you learned from the previous, and you're already doing better than the first round.
Yeah. So when I got to 101, then like I had the club lessons, then I had the restaurant lessons, learning things like your basics of business, and like staffing, payroll, and like how to roll our managers, like and even things beyond that, like your what you have to pay, and so it's kind of like it was good. It was like warming back up. You know what I mean? I think opening them 2 small businesses was warming back up before I got into the big fight.
So you mentioned you mentor, yeah. RIP, yeah. How important do you feel like it is to have a mentor on your journey?
I think it's mad important. Like, I thank God. I thank God I was blessed with Danny Fisher, like, overly. And it became like a father figure. Sorry, I hit the mic. Yeah, it became like a father figure. So it's like, I got lucky. Tea was on its way out, and I just didn't want it to close. And he actually come to me and told me to close it. Do you know what I mean? And I only met him like a week before.
Before it got too late, basically.
Yeah, because I was bleeding personal money into it. It was just a mess. And yeah, he kind of told me that. And no one could tell me, but when he told me, give me his reason why I respected him. And from there, he became a mentor. So
some people might feel like, or some people might be wondering, I want a mentor. How do I find a mentor? How do I meet a mentor?
I don't know. Like me, like I said, I got lucky. I'm blessed from God. He came through somebody else, and he seen me, and because we were so young, and he took a liking to me and Jay. Like, he was older, privileged, privately educated. You know what I'm saying to you, from London, Jewish guy. He's seen 2 brothers. You know what I mean? And he's a type of guy. He done really well in South. He had his own story. He made a load of money in Morocco. I'm talking tens of millions. And he had his own battle. Like, he had his own story, what happened with him and his issues with his business. But so I highly respected him, and he probably just looked at us as young. And he was the type of person that he knew that black people were black people, as in, like, you're not privileged and it's harder. So he didn't. So when he came, he knows that he's helping man out, and that he helped us kind of learn about the mechanics of business. Okay. And he even, took over quite a few things when he overcame us. It could be certain things to do with licensing. He will help us for the forms. He will do certain emails, no charge ever. And so for like I said, I feel like I was blessed with God. So for that journey, because for 10 years, everything I've done, I always could pick up my phone to him. You know what I mean? He was good. It was what's the word? He didn't play no games with me though. You know what I mean? He didn't play no games with me. Like, you gotta have that relationship. He could really tell me, like,
Danny was not, from what I knew Danny, and he was not a yes man at all. No. At all.
He don't tell you what you want to hear. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be like doing this, he'll be like, you stupid fool. Like, that's why he's like, don't do that deal, da-da-da. And I think I know it all, and I'm like, no, this time you're wrong, da-da-da. Next thing you know, I fuck up. And I go see Danny, but he never says I told you so. He would never say I told you so. He would just carry on and help me. But he's really, he don't hold back. Do you know what I mean? He used to tell me as it is, and he used to tell me where he thinks I'm going wrong. And it don't matter if he, believed that. You know what I mean? He would just stick with that. But that was like I says, that was my blessing having Danny.
Danny was such a good guy, man.
There's like a saying where people like, when the student's ready, the teacher will show, something like that. Have you heard that saying before? It's like, when you're ready, like, your mentor would appear to you. And
yeah, I was gonna say, me personally, do I have a mentor?
Of course you do, bro. This right on your left, bro. On your left right now, bro.
Nah, but I was gonna say, in the sense of like,
bro.
No. But I meant, like, it's kind of like but like it's multiple. You know what I mean? Like, I have mentors.
You have multiple mentors.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have a few people I can go to, but I didn't ask for these, man.
Nah,
like,
you didn't.
No offense, bro. But, like, you know what I'm trying to say? It just happens.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of just is in sort of like the same field or has similar interests. And, me being younger or something. Like, obviously, you can have a mentor that's probably younger than you. But obviously, me being younger and then meeting older people, and we have similar interests, I just have probably like a more younger and refreshing version of, what they might think of. So then they might be like, oh, okay. You know what I'm trying to say? He's the future, or...
You can ask man, bro.
Yeah.
You can ask man right now.
Yeah, but you know what I'm trying to say? Like, for you as the older person...
Not too old.
No, okay, you older than us, but the older person... no disrespect, OG. But you as the older person, like, how do you just kind of like pick who you want to like kind of give your time to, and who's most valuable?
I think it just happens naturally. So that, when you questioned earlier, is how do you find a mentor? Do you say something?
Yeah.
I don't think you do actually can go online. I do actually feel like it's a thing. when you're naturally on it, an older person would naturally, you know,
like give you their time.
yeah, or you don't have to be older. It could just be experience.
Yeah.
It could be a young guy. It could be someone who's in something, what's younger than you, who could mentor you. So it just can be, they will naturally probably just see you're on it, you're passionate about something, naturally want to help or naturally want to give advice or, yeah, man, you can call me. Do you know what I mean? I've got a few people like that now as well. But like I said, but Dan was my actual mentor. He was like, but it just happens naturally. I feel like when you're on it, you just kind of attract these people. And you attract these scenarios attract.
Okay. So yeah, we could talk about like, you know, running a club / restaurant business. Yeah, is it all glitz and glam? Because people from the outside might look at it like, yo, running a club, that's sick. Like, man, get to party every weekend, pop bottles.
You got a restaurant.
jam.
You got a restaurant.
Yeah.
You eat food.
It's not, yeah, it can be that. It can be that. Like, I do enjoy it, but very rarely. Like, my birthday, I'll turn up at the club. Boss man thing, no one can out but, oh, show me, you mad. But like, someone like, who's it there? Like, but I don't, that's really rare. I do that. Like, I'm more a worker. I really, like, because I'm really passionate about it. Because when I was young, I really wanted to open 101 to be a club in Birmingham, what was a national club for everybody to travel from out of town. Yeah. And so it's kind of like, I'm really like sensitive to it. So I'm really hands-on. Okay. So if you see me, I'm at work, I could be everywhere. But mainly, I like to work with the boss boys because they're, you know, the lowest paid. And I like to work with them. And I'll be out there sweating with them, taking out shows, whatever it is, gas collecting. Sometimes you see me do a bit of security, you know what I mean? Like, then I'm out there, like, I can help run bottles to the bar, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I just work. Yeah. I don't do the partying thing. But, you know, you get the perks. Yeah. But sometimes, like tonight, I said to you yesterday, tonight, like, you convinced me. I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just enjoy it? And so
be the owner of my club that I own?
enjoy it. I've been working there for 5 years, like I don't own it. So when we was having a conversation, I'm like, you know what, Ty, I'm going to party tonight. So tonight, I'm going to chill, party, you know, drink a little champagne.
Crack a bottle.
But you know what it is? Yeah, this is going to sound, obviously, it's going to sound mad.
Oh, God.
50, but I feel like it's still good that, because you know what it is, people respect you more when they know that, yo, you're not telling them to do jobs that you wouldn't do yourself.
100%.
So man will look at you and be like, yo, man is actually out here with man, working as well. So when you tell a man to do something,
they're always.
A man is gonna respect you more because he's like, yo, he will do it himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? So obviously you've done it for so long, you can chill back, you can step back now, but man respect you because man can see, yo, he's not telling man to do something that he won't do.
Yeah.
You're really out here in the field?
Yeah.
Like, you're not disconnected from man?
Nah. And my team there, we got bare love. You know what I mean? Them, like, we got love like that. I'm not, like, they go hard for, man.
Shout a couple man out.
Yeah, like, you want to start?
Shout
No, you miss out names, it's going to be peak. No, man. Don't shout no down. You miss out
I'm going to
names.
shout them out for real, though. These, like, hard workers.
You have to collectively shout, because if you miss out names, it's going to be pepper,
Okay,
bro.
cool. Like,
Collectively shout man out.
yeah, I'll shout out the whole team, 101 team then.
Yeah.
All of them they always go that extra mile. Because 101, the name was about giving it 100. We always say give it 100. But then we would say, you got to give it, to be exceptional and where we come from, we can't give it 100 because we start in last place. So I remember when me and Jay, we used to say, we got to give it 101 because where we are, being black in a Western society, and so you got to give it 101%, and that's where the 101 name came from. And I swear to you, my staff, they do give me 101. Like, they don't even have to go that hard, and they're loyal as well. Other clubs will be offering them more money, and they're just like, nah. And they just, I just love the whole 101 team so big. You get me?
That's sick.
But don't ask me to say it again at work. You're going to say anything.
Every single time. But boom. So you're gonna enjoy yourself. You're gonna crack a bottle and all that stuff. Was there any bottle clubs doing like what you was doing before you?
Not in Birmingham.
Not in Birmingham. That's
probably not even like no one was doing what we done when we opened in Birmingham. There was no, because basically, the motivation what made me speed up the process was I couldn't get into the table clubs.
Talk about that.
So I was like getting P as well. So I was like, I remember pulling up in a Maserati, me and Jake and Taya, we was like in blazers, like suited up, 2 man, you know, and like post me shiny shoes, like trying, and like they were saying you can't get in. So I don't want to name names. Let's not name names.
Let's not name names.
But yeah, these clubs, and there was a predominant 2 in Birmingham, never let us in. And it just frustrated me so bad. Then I had to go back to the shubs. So I had to go to the...
Wait. You know them clubs that didn't let you in? Are they still about now?
Yeah, they are actually.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. And then, I had to go to like... And I really wanted to be in a place where I could pop bottles because I was getting a bit of pee. And but, you know, I didn't want to go to the shubs. And I was just weren't accepted. You know, and that really helped fire a rocket to go to like, I want to open... I pissed one day. I remember I rang Jay and I rang him and I was just like... Bro, I was so angry and I was passionate. I was like, we're going to open a club and we're going to do it for us. We'll open a club in our little bubble universe. What we want to go to, we're going to make it USA style. We're going to have all these guests. We're going to do bottle shows. So like, and there was no one really doing that. So when we opened, we done like this crazy club. We was flying in American bartenders. We had their guests, rappers from America, TV and period guests. Like, it was just crazy what we did with like something brand new. And then we done like these over-the-top bottle shows and doing all these stuff. We made a club what did let in people who look like me and Jay. Do you know what I mean?
So what do you mean by that?
So
people that look like you and Jay, what do you and Jay look like?
Melanin. So like the brothers, like, because what we noticed was back then, you know, it was segregated, I ain't gonna lie, the club thing. So the good clubs were letting about 5-10% black people. There were table clubs I wanted to get into, but they already had the footballers in there. So they'd probably be like, I don't know, they'd probably be like they had enough. But it was hard to be a brother and get into table clubs, I ain't gonna lie.
Why do you think that was?
But I had for years, just couldn't get in. I don't know. And then, so
Nah,
there was...
It's not like there must be a reason.
But
like.
I feel like this is up and down the country, everybody knows. I feel like my generation, because I'm in my 30s, they all can relate in the comments and they'll all be like, yo, and even in my city, I understand that. It's just been a thing up and down the country.
What do you feel like when they see black people, they feel like?
I feel like at that time when I was trying to get in table clubs, and I was just going with Jay, 2 man, I just could never get, and even though I'll say I'll buy a table, I just feel I didn't know who he was. I feel like you had to know, and it just wasn't a thing like that. And it's because I reckon, you know, but it was just hard back then. And then you just go into a club where there was like a shubs, so you just go, then you just end up in just only black club. You know what I mean? And that's where I wanted to do a club. I didn't care about it being predominantly black, but I wanted it to be mixed. But I wanted to let brothers come in and floss. So if you was a good brother, and you was getting money, and you want to buy a table and have bottle shows, I wanted them to come and floss. We had bartenders from America twerking on the tables, whatever it took for them to feel good. And I really wanted that dream. And so that's why I'm really motivated. Being rejected really motivated and be like, fuck that, let's create our own. And when we did, it was classed as tacky and all that. And
why do you think that was?
I don't know. They would just say, oh, it's tacky. Because, you know, we had bartenders, we had, but back then it was new. It probably was a shock.
What is a bartender?
It's like a bottle girl, but there were bottle girls who were lit. You know, they were lit. They looked lit. They were lit. You know what I mean? So, big up all the starters who ever started out, startending at 101. So that's why they called it tacky. And then eventually, I done it for a certain bottle culture. I done it for a certain culture. And eventually it just became like a club what everyone started to go to. And then I feel like it changed the dynamics of Birmingham. And other clubs, like, because it was such a big club at the time, I sucked a lot of the clients. Other clubs had to start letting in probably people they never let in before, and I felt great about that. I felt like I changed the dynamics that, like,
The shift, the cultural shift.
Like, doesn't matter what colour you are. I'm not saying there were, I don't know, but there was something, but I just feel like I helped me and Jay, our mission, felt like, yo, it's good now, you know.
So, okay, cool. So you've done the whole originality thing for the club. You know, you've set a new sort of wave. A wave, yeah. Yeah, you set a whole new wave for like the clubs in like Birmingham or even the UK or West Midlands or something like that.
Yeah, you could say.
Yeah. So now, boom, you did the same thing with the restaurants. So now,
not as impactful.
You don't think so?
Bro, I disagree with that.
Because to me, 202 was the first sort of restaurant I ever went to that was like the way it was. If anyone's ever been to 202 or they haven't, it was like pink or magenta, pink or magenta everywhere on the walls. There was picture walls everywhere, and picture walls were basically like walls with like props and stuff where you could like take pictures, and it was, what was the word, Instagrammable.
Yeah.
It was Instagrammable, so you know, you take your pictures. The food looked crazy on these on the trays. Some of the food would come out with sparklers and stuff, as if it was like in a like a table club and stuff like that. They brought like a whole new vibe. I never seen anything like that.
Me
before.
neither, bro. Me neither. And like when you see 202, it's just like imagery, like the marketing and the branding was on point, because you know, if you see a female,
a woman
take a picture, and it's got that certain background, you know, okay, she's at that place there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? So you did create a wave for that, because man wasn't seeing that before.
It was a wave. It was definitely a wave, but it wasn't like the 101 wave. You got more followers than 101 and that, but I feel like because the 202 happened because of the pandemic, innit? So it's kind of like,
okay,
pandemic happened, we had no clubs. So I was like, geez, I ain't got a life. You know? And then I remember at the time, we opened 101 in Cardiff. So we got a club in Cardiff called 101. And it was 6 weeks before the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So Panacos is my partner in Cardiff. So it was me, Jay, and Panacos. Okay. And then we traded for 6 weeks in Cardiff, and then it happened. I remember being on the phone to Panny, and we just didn't know what the hell we was going to do because we're club boys. And then that's when 202, when Boris started talking about he's going to open restaurants first and all that, then ping, I had the idea. I was like, okay, I need somewhere where we can go. Because I thought, we can go to restaurants. Well, I just want to create something where people kind of who went 101 can go to a restaurant and hear the same type of music. And like 101 had picture opportunities, kind of girls can take pictures. And it kind of be like, brothers can get, like people can dress up drippy and feel like it's a little, you know what I mean? Little vibe. So that's what we did. That's how it got created. It's still cool. I love 202. Impact. It was impactful. It was impactful.
Super. Why are you saying it like that? Are you being humble right now?
Yeah.
Bro,
just saying one-on-one was
Pierre restaurants. No, but you know what it is? I feel like even this might even be globally. I feel like bare restaurants are doing the whole pink Instagram
I make it clear, this ain't no kiss ass thing either. Man, I'm not saying this because he's here. Man, I'm actually saying this as genuine, honest.
Respect.
No way.
Yeah, respect for that. But yeah, man, I'm not trying to downplay the thing, but I do feel like it was good.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question then, because you're saying it like that. That means you had bigger expectations, because if you're saying it like it wasn't as good, I'm guessing you had a bigger goal for it.
No, what I'm saying, the impact wasn't as big as 101.
Okay.
The 101 impact changed the game in the clubbing game in Birmingham. You know what I mean? I feel like it actually did that.
I feel like what 202 did across Europe even had a bigger, like I feel like there's restaurants, and not even restaurants, I've seen shisha lounges with the same sort of setup.
Like influence,
yeah. Like there's probably somewhere in Germany that's literally stole your like.
Yeah, like I feel like
the whole interior.
I feel like this is why 202 felt like it just got it got saturated. Like the idea did. So it's just like it's easy to copy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I think 202 is definitely good. I feel like it had its originality. People are kind of like going to a place where it played like hip hop, like lit tunes, eating good food, and like, you know, them Caribbean type cocktails, and you know, the whole setting. I do think people do enjoy that. I still do.
Okay. I want to touch on something then, because you mentioned the pandemic and how when it happened, you was like to your business partner, like, yo, what am I gonna do? Like, man, club boys, you get me? So how did you maneuver and deal with that? Because you're still here, and there's been plenty of businesses that have gone
down under,
like
Australia.
Because the pandemic happened for 2 years. It happened for 2 years.
Oh, bro, it was hard.
So I want you to explain what you went through. And
I'm still going through it, because like you're still feeling the burn, you know, and even now. But at first, because you think you ain't gonna last long, and then it got to a point where everything was unknown. Do you know what I mean? And so it's like it was not knowing was a killer. At one point, we just didn't know it was gonna open up. We didn't know if clubs were ever gonna come back.
I remember them times.
And so we was just like, it was challenging. And then the place where the lease didn't give no free rent. There was no prisoners. You know what I mean? They weren't, because you couldn't, they were clocking up that debt. You know what I mean? There was a great brand in the same surrounding area, and they had to leave because they was like, they're not paying. They wanted free time. And I don't blame them, because we wanted free time, but we knew we couldn't kick up a fuss with the darkies, and it's all like, you know what I'm saying? On the block, we couldn't kick. So we just, like, we let them do the fighting, but we was like rooting for them. Like they was kind of fighting for everybody. But nah, it's a big company. It is what it is. And but I've got to, they were still good, they gave you time to catch up though. So I got to give them that. So even when you was closed, they gave you time. They didn't give you free rent, but they give you time to catch up. So
that is mad. So they was just like, yo, we don't care about what the pandemic,
nah,
and pandemic or whatever it's called. Like, yo, we want our money.
That goddamn pandemonium.
But you know what it is as well? It's kind of like, that's happened across the country. That's why so many places closed down. Because of that, a lot of places closed down, and it was challenging just knowing all that. And government give you some help. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, but no trade for 24 months?
Right, the help weren't enough, obviously. That's why man had to hustle. So that's when the hustler's ambition, the instinct come out where, yo, man are cornered, I'm watching TV, Boris says something about, what do you say, restaurants? But restaurants can't open. All right, then we're going to create a lit restaurant, fuck it. And that's where the little financing man invested that. And luckily we did that, because that helped keep everything alive until it could open again.
That's interesting though, because how you just said that's so easy, where it's like, yo, what restaurants? Come, let's go. Like, do you feel like you've kind of got that mindset now where it's just like, start a business, open a business, start a business, open a business, start a business, open a business?
Yeah, I've definitely got a mind state. I'm not saying every time it will be the right thing to do though.
But you've kind of lost that fear of like,
definitely,
what's gonna happen?
Yeah, definitely. But I still get an uncomfortable feeling. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, I still get when it's about to launch. But man, don't. I don't
second guess it.
I don't like, the fear's not gonna hold me back from anything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm always gonna go through. If I've got an idea or a goal, like I'm always gonna break through that little fear barrier if there is one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, what lessons did you take away from like the pandemic?
You need. I think a lot of people had their own in it. But for me, it was more looking at, and it made me think about beyond business. Cause I live and breathed it. So it made me, and the lessons I took were personal lessons. Like, it made me actually feel like, you know what, I probably want to get a missus or something like that. I probably want to start a family. What are you laughing for?
Okay, because you're spending, wait. Because you're spending so much time alone.
Yeah. And cause I didn't know I was that lonely until everything closed. So it made me look, the lessons I got was more life lessons. Like, so, do you know what I mean?
Because when you're in that club environment, it's just like you're always around people always show you love, so you don't really get that time to be like, wait there, do you need someone? Or do you need someone around me?
True. Yeah.
Because that's when you sense a lot of fake love as well. These people like yes men. Yeah, hey Leon, love the club, man.
It's not that much. It's not like that.
I know, but then
I love the club, man.
But then the pandemic comes and it's just like crickets at it.
Yeah.
But even though it might not be much, it could be 2 or 3 people, but then that still will have you in your head like
it was a lot. Like everyone was gone. It's like it was mad. But yeah, that's a lot of life lessons, because when before that we just opened Cardiff. All I was thinking about was jumping on the M-Way, opening a club. What's the next club? What's the next idea? What we doing next?
Okay, so boom, the next club isn't the next club. It's the previous one to Cardiff. So there was 101 Birmingham,
101,
and then you've got 101 Cardiff now.
Yeah,
but in between that,
101 London.
So
speak on it.
I think we moved too quick. We opened 101 Birmingham. 101 Birmingham got a big name. So we got an opportunity to open a club in London, and we opened it, and it was a good start. But my mentor said, "Don't do the deal because the paperwork weren't worth shit." But I felt like that was one of them times where I'm not listening to my mentor, and I'm just like, no.
Was that same thing where it's like, yo, 101 Brom's doing good?
Yeah, it's
like you can't, like, why would I not do it? Yeah, like we're up, like we're gonna be even more up.
I feel like, but the person I'd done who said he was the landlord who had done a deal with on the property, it wasn't a proper deal. So and we opened and we didn't have control of the lease, and we done a what they call it, a rent agreement, and it was the worst thing to ever to do.
So what? Sorry, you can carry on, but so for someone that's probably listening and wants to get into the club business, what are some things that you reckon you should have had in place to make sure that it was the best deal?
I shouldn't have done that deal because it was somebody who had a building. They had the lease and they subleased it, but they done a dodgy sublease. So all it is when we was there, we just didn't have a proper deal in place. So just make sure in anything you do, not clubs or anything, your paperwork's got to be straight.
So you get a good solicitor.
Yeah, just make sure get a good solicitor. Make sure you pay, because you meet people, and I didn't know this because I'm new to the business world, and we was flying quite high, and we was kind of like you meet people, and you trust. I'm gullible as hell, and I'll be like, yeah, I just trust. And big up my mentor, he was all over it, calling me an idiot. What you doing? I was like, nah, you worry too much. He's cool. You worry too much, and I learned the hard way. Got bit, and we was in London. It was a great start, and then got bit, and then it ended up us and a landlord. He weren't the real landlord, back and forth. Ended sour. Okay. And we left 101 London, but with that again, when we was there though, we learned so much how they operated in London and seeing other clubs. We came back to Birmingham and just upgraded 101.
I want to ask you a question then, because I get a thing where I'll do something like a business or whatever, and then as my mind grows, I look back and think, yo, if I was to do that now, I'll kill it.
Unstoppable.
So do you look at 101 London and think, yo, when
I wouldn't have done that deal.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Do you feel like
if I got a proper, always feel confident in myself. So I always feel like if I got a proper deal lease that time on a building and I done a club, I think me and Jay would have gave it 101%. And so
I like what you did there still. Yeah, I like what you did there still.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I hear that. That's interesting though, because it's like it's the back to the last place thing, innit? Like, even though you're running your race and you're doing what you're doing, you can still take hours whilst you're still whilst other people's perception might be like you're still at the top of the mountain, innit?
Yeah, yeah. Well, to probably other people, but man, I know we're near the top of the mountain. Not my mountain anyway.
Yeah. So that's interesting because it don't stop, innit? It don't stop as like, because some people might look at success and a lot of people will call you successful.
Yeah, definitely not.
And they might look at it and be like, you know what? When you get there, it's just like everything's just rosy. Like, I'm gonna open this business. Money's just gonna be flowing. Like, but you're basically saying like, yo, the game don't stop.
Game don't stop for real. Like, it depends what your goal is. My goal is to grow, innit? Like, I want to be as big as I can be. I want to impact as much I can with my brands. So
that's you growing. What's your purpose?
Okay, wow. Are we going there, B?
We're going there.
I think we all should answer that question, but you lead with that one.
I don't want to get too deep.
Last place is last place.
I don't want to get too deep.
You don't have to go too deep, but just give us a little something.
A purpose. I think like a personal. You mean like personal?
Nah, what do you feel like you've been put on this earth to do?
Okay.
Not like end goal or anything like that.
Okay. I like that. Okay, that's easier.
You're welcome.
So I feel like I've been put here to inspire people through events.
Okay.
Yeah, and art and entrepreneurship. I think I'm here to inspire a certain community. I think that I'm put here to do that, and that is through to inspire people through what my strengths, and that's events, like you say, art and entrepreneurship, true entrepreneurship. I think I'm here to inspire through what I do, basically.
So do you feel like you've hit that purpose, or do you feel
I feel like a lot of people hit me up and say they're inspired, but nah, nowhere near. Like what I've got going on in my mind, how far I want to take it and what I want to do next. Through these obstacles, after I feel like I can hit that. My next things are it's gonna hit it even more. I'm gonna hit a lot more people. I'm gonna do a lot more for myself as well. Do you know what I mean? Like where I want to be as well. You know what I'm saying? So nowhere near.
What's your purpose?
How can you stick it on me like that, blood? Boom. So my purpose, I just feel like kind of goes back to like, is it one of the previous episodes when I talk about obviously like leaving a legacy? I kind of just want to let people know that they can be themselves unapologetically. They can be who they want to be and still get to where they want to go. Like, I just want to be like, sort of like the messenger. Like, you know what I mean?